Hello. In this tutorial, we'll focus on how to count notes. And at the end of the tutorial, we will look at one of Charlie Parker's songs called Ornithology, and we will look at how to count the notes in that song in preparation to be able to play that song. When counting notes, it's a good idea to have a metronome playing in the background. A metronome is a piece of equipment or some software that will sound out the beats, usually in the form of a clicking sound. All of the examples in this tutorial will have a metronome playing in the background at a tempo of 60 beats per minute. It's also a good example to tap your feet to the beat in order to remain in time. Now let's explore how to count these notes while looking at some different examples of arrangements of these notes. When counting notes, you must make sure that you count the notes on the beat or half beat or quarter beat, etc. This will become clearer as we proceed. Our counting must be in time with the metronome. The first note, as you should know, is called a semibreve and will last for all 4 beats. So it is counted like this with the note held for all 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next example consists of 2 minims, and as you know, a minim will last for 2 beats in 4/4 time. So you will count 1, 2 for the first minim and 3, 4 for the second minim. It will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next example has 4 crotchets or quarter notes. So each crotchet will last for 1 beat. So each note will be counted. It will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next 2 examples have a minim and 2 crotchets. The only thing that you need to bear in mind is that the minim will last for 2 beats, whereas a crotchet will last for 1 beat, and you will just count it accordingly. It will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next example has quaver notes, and as you know, in 4/4 time, 2 quavers will make up 1 beat. So now we have to introduce the word and. So we will count it as 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, making sure that all of our countings are evenly spaced apart and in line with the metronome. 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. Here is a different example. 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. The next example has semiquavers, and as you know, in 4/4 time there will be 4 semiquavers to 1 beat. So we would count it like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Some people will count it like this: 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. This is how it would sound: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here is a different example: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's look at this example. The smallest note is a semiquaver, so you could count the bar as if it was filled with semiquavers. So it would sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The better way to count it is to take into account the duration of the notes. So it would sound like this: 1, 2, 3 and 4. You should be able to count these next 2 examples: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. You could have counted this like this if you wanted to: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we turn our attention to counting triplets. We dealt with triplets in the last lesson. A triplet consists of 3 notes which is played in a duration of 2 of the same notes. The way we count triplets is to think of a word with 3 equal syllables, like the word Saturday. So we can count triplets with the word Saturday. If we want to make sure that we know what beat we are on, we could count it as 1 a day, 2 a day, 3 a day, 4 a day, etc. 1 a day, 2 a day, 3 a day, 4 a day. So now let's look at Charlie Parker's song Ornithology. From all of the lessons that we've gone through so far, you should be able to know what the key signature and time signature of the music is. The key signature tells us that this music is in the key of C. The time signature tells us that it's in 4/4 time or common time. The time tempo tells us that there is a crotchet beat or quarter beat of 236 beats per minute. It will sound like this. This symbol shows us that for the first 3 bars or 3 measures that the drum will play a solo. The saxophone will actually start playing on the 4th measure or 4th bar at the last half beat of that bar or measure. So you could count it 1, 2, 3, 4 and on that and is where you start the first note. If you look carefully, there are 2 repeat symbols consisting of 2 bar lines and 2 dots. Sometimes they are drawn with 4 dots. What these 2 symbols indicate that the section of music between these 2 symbols will be repeated. However, in this sheet music there is a modification in the fact that there are 2 endings to this repeated section. There's one section labelled 1 and a second section labelled 2. So basically what would happen is that you'll play this section with the first ending and then you repeat the section again and play the second ending instead of the first ending. So let's recap to make sure everything is clear. You start by playing that first note. Then you play the musical section between the 2 repeat symbols, which includes the first ending. Then you repeat this section between the 2 repeat symbols, but this time when you get to the first ending, you skip it and go straight to the second ending and play the second ending. Once you've played the second ending, you'll continue with the music. Notice here that the trumpet, tenor and guitar will play some of the music. We are finally at the stage where we can start the counting of this music. Since most of the notes in this song are quavers, we will count it throughout as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and until we get to the triplets. I have also replaced the and with a plus sign to save space, and in some places reduced the font size in order to fit it in, so that the counting is directly under the note that it applies to. Lastly, there's a few things I need to point out. These notes are tied notes. We've gone over tied notes before, so make sure that you sound the note for its full duration. Also, you do not play during these bars, so I've just counted the main beats. My advice is that you go away, listen to the original recording, make sure you understand how the music is repeated within these repeat signs, and then have a go playing it, probably at a much slower tempo. We will continue with this next lesson. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... Hi, I'm Ken Gowdy and thank you for watching this video. That was just to show you that you don't need to wait until you've got a saxophone and some sheet music in front of you before you start learning how to play sheet music. You can actually tap out the rhythms wherever you are at a bus stop, on the metro. Just tap it out, get to learn the rhythms, get to learn the patterns, and that will help you when you're learning how to read sheet music. If you're not a subscriber yet, then please subscribe. We will be continuing with this next lesson. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.